everyone. I'm Jack. Welcome to the official IslesDen YouTube channel. We're going to be doing a lot more Islanders post-game show and podcasting content for this upcoming season. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. You can also find my weekly podcast on Twitter at Isles House, co-hosted by myself at IslesDen, Ethan at EthanGSN, and Rocco at Pizza Sports Guy, all on Twitter. Thank you for joining me. Isles post-game, here for the good times and the bad times. It's been some bad, it's been some good, but tonight was definitely the most memorable so far. Islanders win 3-2 over the Columbus Blue Jackets in a very good, very exciting game where it felt like the better team won. What's on tap for today? We got just game recap as usual. We have a special guest joining the show. He'll be introduced in 10 minutes. Great friend of the program. And yeah, let's dive right into it. So the Islanders come out. Blue Jackets are on the second half of a back-to-back, and it was kind of just the Islanders really poured it on in the first few minutes. David Riddick got the start, and an early power play leads to a Matthew Schaefer power play goal. Felt like literally a second into the man advantage. I think it was right off the face-off. And the first period just was the Islanders just thoroughly outplayed Columbus, and it just felt pretty good going into the intermission. Maybe you would have liked a second or even a third goal because it was thorough. I mean, the shots were 21-4 at one point in that second period in the beginning, and that's where you saw the game change up a little bit. Columbus started getting their legs under them. The game kind of evened out, a couple penalties here and there, and then 5-on-5, Adam Fantilli, really skilled player over there for Columbus, young guy, throws a puck in front. You'd like Scott Mayfield to tie up Miles Wood on that play. Nothing Riddick could do there. And it's 1-1. And suddenly, the game's kind of back and forth, a couple more penalties on the Islanders, and they just find themselves going to the intermission tied 1-1. And Columbus was in the Islanders' shoes from a few nights ago in Washington, where the Islanders found a way to win on the second half, even though they might have been outplayed at times, especially in the first period. Their goalie stole one for them. And the third period, the best way to put this one for me is I feel like this was a period of karma in just so many ways. So the Islanders are almost tripling the Blue Jackets in shots. I know it was double, and it's 1-1. The Islanders come out on fire in the beginning of the third period, and they just can't find the back of the net. And it was kind of odd because I didn't feel like Merzlikins made any really dynamic saves, but he was good. He was steady. He was solid. And eventually there's a turnover at the Columbus blue line. And I saw that in the corner of my eye, I saw Columbus touch the puck, a player come off the bench, play the puck. And in the background, you could see if you rewatch the goal, you can see Dmitry Voronkov dive. Like I've never seen a player jump into a bench like this to avoid the too many men call. And somehow the refs missed it. And even the MSG booth, the telecast missed it too, because what ended up happening was obviously Columbus with that player goes down off the rush. I kind of blacked out in that moment of what the full sequence was. It just looked like this fluky broken play where Columbus finds a way to put it in the back of the net. And it's just such a joke that happens. And it's 2-1 Blue Jackets. The MSG booth says the Islanders bench is incensed. And I was like, okay, this is why. Like, I was right to think that it was due to the too many men, because I was questioning it for a second because I was surprised the booth didn't notice. So they're examining all of these other plays that happened. And yeah, I hope they eventually figured that one out. However, 2-1 Blue Jackets. And the Islanders now with, I think it was maybe 8 minutes to go, have to find the equalizer. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking of last year when the Islanders played Columbus in March they were down 3-2. No, they were tied 3-3 with the last 7 seconds of the game. In late March, they win this game, they would have gone back into a playoff spot. We're all happy that they didn't, considering number 48 is an Islander now. But yeah, the Blue Jackets got that crazy call. And once again, the refs miss a call. And then a few minutes later, as the Islanders seem like, I felt like Riddick was a couple, maybe 30 seconds, a minute away from going to the bench. Columbus gets a zone entry. Miles Wood gets tripped up by Romanov. Refs blow the whistle, make the call, and now penalties are the Islanders had 8 penalty minutes to Columbus's 2, and the Islanders scored on the power play. So it just kind of, I don't know. I felt like the Islanders got the short end of the stick when it came to power plays tonight, and they had to get the kill. And Dmitry Voronkov ended up interrupting that by taking a penalty of his own to make it 4-on-4. So now I'm thinking, all right, no more excuses. They just have to find a way to win this game or tie it. And what do you know? The Cole Sillinger actually takes the puck away from Barzell. He tries to clear it. Matthew Schaefer holds the zone. It's so nice having a defenseman on this team that can hold the zone on a play like that. The real ones know what I'm referring to there. He throws it at the net. Good things happen when you put it on net, and it looks like it tips off Anders Lee, but it was actually Zach Werenski of Columbus who makes a wicked deflection for the Islanders right over Merzlikins, and it's a 2-2 game with a minute left. And this team never, it just feels like the Islanders with the extra attacker, that happens, what, once a year? Not even. So it's 2-2, and you're just feeling good. Matthew Schaefer has his second of the game after winning Rookie of the Month, by the way. So it's just good vibes going on there. And, there's a minute left. The Islanders start like getting some chances in the zone. And next thing you know, Anders Lee is just bullying everybody off the puck down low, just playing brilliant for him. And he throws it on net, kind of squeaks through Merzlikins, and karma once again. Simon Holmstrom dives in to give the Islanders the lead with, I want to say, 45 seconds left. And the reason why this is karma, this is some personal karma. I have to take some accountability here. So we recorded an Isles House podcast on, I want to say, Thursday night after they lost to the Carolina Hurricanes 4-2. And Simon Holmstrom scored a goal late in the third period when it was 4-1 Carolina. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, all right, Holmstrom with his point totals, this guy just happens to always get points when the game is out of hand or when the team is playing a bottom feeder. And when this team is just, I don't know, when the game is so unimportant, it just feels like he scored in the first period. A lot of, I might have used the term empty calories, but we got every calorie out of this one. He came up huge. He also came up pretty big in Washington the other night when they were down 1-0 late in the second. Made a great pass to Pajot to tie up the game. So can't really ask for more than that. The last 45 seconds after the Holmstrom goal, this team was locked in. They were focused. I don't even think that Columbus really had a quality attempt on net. And David Riddick moves to 3-1 on the season. The Islanders win back-to-back games with 2 different goalies, giving up less than 2 goals both times. And that's really going to be an important blueprint to follow going forward. You get a good game out of Sorokin. You don't throw him back in there and pray that he steals another one. Give him a rest. Get the other guy in there. Play well in front of him like they did. They seem to play a little bit better in front of Riddick, I have to say. Just feels like less chaos in front of their net. But Cal Ritchie, second game with the team, he just looks like he belongs. The new lines seem to click. And that's really my takeaway. Just nice to see the full circle moment of that Kyle Palmieri play. And I forgot to talk about that goaltender interference that was for the Islanders. That was a major part in the game, but I'm going to bring on Mike to discuss that. You can find him at Dino Dangle on Twitter. Mike, how are we doing, my friend?
Very excited. And now we can finally say, Matthew Schaefer has won them a game, right? Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
They did play well. But, I mean, just a tremendous night for him. First 2-goal night.
A year ago, they're not winning that game. I mean,
I don't think so.
The way that play where Cole Sillinger throws it up the boards to when it's 2-1 Blue Jackets late in the game. I mean, let's be real. That's number 8 a year ago, and he doesn't make that play. He just one of the things with him that was always so frustrating that doesn't always get talked about because it's kind of like a little detail. This guy felt like he could never hold the zone in that situation. Somehow it was always bouncing over his stick, going the other way for an empty net, and it was just so frustrating. The power play goal, this guy is he's changing everything, isn't he?
I was going to say, I like Noah Dobson, Jack, but I mean, you can't deny the fact he only had 2 power play goals in the last 2 seasons, and
It's
I believe
crazy.
Schaefer already has 3.
I mean, he might have 4 now, right?
I
Or
no,
was
no, one
tonight
of
his third?
yeah, third. One of them was even strength, but still, I mean, think about that. How many games has he played?
What are those 6, 5, and 1? He's played 12 games. Guy scoring
Yeah,
at 25%.
yeah. I mean, just an unbelievable number 1 defenseman so far. I mean, everything. Honestly, I don't think anyone expected this. To be honest, I think this is well above our expectations. But
Oh,
honestly,
yeah.
he took control of the game when he was on the ice, so it's exactly what we need to see.
Yeah, even in games they've lost, like that
Yeah,
first home game against Washington, I had a friend of the program, Pinhole's Graham, on here, and he was talking about. He's like, it might have been 4-1 us, but Schaefer and Barzell literally took over the game, and it was pretty
yeah.
frightening watching them go down on the rush. So he just continues this excellence early on, and I'm really curious to see how it plays out. I mean, young players are known for hitting a wall a couple months into the season,
Yeah.
but I don't know. He's kind of destroyed every narrative I expected for an 18-year-old.
I said to you before we went on, but and I know it would have been a little frustrating for fans, but you should have left that game feeling pretty good. I think no matter the result, because they came out and they played well for the majority of the game, and honestly, Schaefer as well. Just another night of him looking great, and that's really what we're looking forward to this season. I think, right? If things don't go well, you still want to see the best out of him. Guys like Cal Ritchie. I mean, I'm sure we'll get into that, but
Oh yeah.
just outstanding night for the young guys. Even Holmstrom, right? Like we talked about, big
Yep.
moment.
Big moment
Ethan
for the
already has the
Swede.
narrative going online, so I see it.
I'm hearing it from Ethan. I'm hearing
Yeah.
it from Phil. It's you know what? I'm happy to hear it though. Like you call a guy empty calorie for points, and the way he shuts you up is scoring a game-winning goal with 45 seconds. You really can't make up the last 2 games given the timing.
I've said it. I mean, have you not thought while watching these games, man, why can't this guy do what he does on the PK at even strength? I mean,
Yeah,
he just takes over when we're a man down. He
yeah.
makes
I mean,
makes those
he's.
like do that more consistently. You're going to be a top 6 player. You know what I mean? That's
I
what we
think
want out of him.
I think that's what it is. Like when he has these strong games, he looks like one of the best players on the ice. And then he has these games where like he
Yeah.
doesn't do anything and it's
Nope.
completely invisible.
Yeah.
But putting him on the fourth line, the way Waz kind of been like, yo, I need more from you. It might be, it might be starting to work a little bit. So that's a good sign. With this team, they did play really well tonight. But when you're a team like the Islanders where you're probably dead last in all of the underlying metrics defensively, even maybe quantitative data. Like when you play a good defensive game, like they have
Yeah.
like they did against Washington, like they did
Mhm.
tonight, maybe not even a good defensive game, just a good game that they should win. You really need to collect those points, especially
Yeah.
early in the season. So when it was 2-1 Jackets, I was not feeling too good because then, you got to play a Boston team on Tuesday that just beat you. They're going to come in with confidence. And it's like, you got to collect these points when you can and early while you're still healthy, which is another underrated asset this team has right now. So really, just like really relieved we got the win. Um, Other than that, I mean, I can't really pinpoint much negative about the game. Like,
Only a
is there?
couple things.
Yeah, give me something to kind of work off of
I
here.
have a bunch of things, but and I'll try to remember them one by one. But one of them was they had it was either I think they had a power play when it was after a 4-on-4, and they didn't
Yep.
realize they were a man down.
Yeah, that
And
was
this
an
was
ugly
in a
scene.
crucial situation that could have
Oh,
decided the game. And I'm someone could check me on this. I'm not sure if that's coaching or player awareness, probably both. But
both. That was a bad look.
you can't have that happen. I mean, especially in a crucial moment like that. I would say one of the other ones, Jack, just so I don't forget, is also the turnovers sometimes, especially from our defense. I mean, it's the defense because you don't see it from Schaefer nearly as often as some of these other guys.
It's
You
true.
got to keep your feet moving, right? It's a big
Yeah.
part of it. So
That's a good call though on that power play. It's like, all right, Brendan and Thomas Hickey, they're like, yeah, they only have 4 guys on the ice. And I'm like, all right, guys, they're gonna get the 5th guy on in a second. Relax. And I'm
you
like,
saw Barzell
five
doing circles, right? Yeah.
5 seconds pass by and there's still 4 guys on the ice. And it's like, are you guys serious right now?
Yeah.
Like it felt like they were gonna bang on the bench and be like, let's figure this out, guys. But something I did just remember. So if you're a Columbus Blue Jackets fan and it's 2-1, you're leading late in this game, and you see that puck go in behind Riddick, and you watch that sequence on replay where the refs say no goal, it really felt like this like weirdly what goes around comes around moment from the Paul
Yeah,
Mary
it happened
situation. Like
last season.
that that was pretty egregious, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, and honestly, if you're a Jackets fan watching this or listening or playing it back, I think me and Jack both saw really good games out of Cole Sillinger.
Yeah.
Obviously, Marchenko is an absolute beast. He's so quick, honestly.
Yeah,
Decision
he's
making
so good.
I thought Miles Wood had a great game. Honestly,
Yep.
Merzlikins had a great game too for
Yeah,
them. So
he did.
I mean, but I'm shocked, Jack, honestly, that the coach didn't challenge that. And I don't know. I mean, Rocco pointed out that they can't challenge that play, but I think it was something you can challenge. I know I'd have to once again get someone who's a little bit more of an expert in that situation than me, but I would have challenged that every day.
I'm with you there.
Game's
So
too close.
so I know that you can challenge when there's goaltender interference called and it's a goal called on the ice. I don't know if it was never a goal. If you can like I here's why they didn't challenge. That was just wrong thinking from me, but the reason I think they didn't challenge is because this was a really weird situation in the game. It was actually a 4-on-4.
Yeah.
And, you put a guy in the box on a 4-on-3, and the Islanders' power play was 1-for-1 tonight. You see, that's actually that's a bigger like development than we probably realized talking about it. Is like the Blue Jackets coach, Dean Evison, he didn't want to put the Islanders on the power play. And that is something that every coach in the NHL last year would have been like, don't care, challenge it.
See, I'm misremembering, but was that before they took the penalty on the power play, or was that after?
After, like
So
right
it wouldn't have
after.
it been a 5-on-3?
So it would have been a 4-on-3 at first, and then when Romanov left the
Yeah.
box, it would have been a 5-on-3 for a little bit later. So it was
that's what they were
risky.
thinking. But
Yeah.
still, I mean, oh man, if you saw that replay like we did, I was
Oh
holding
my
my
God.
breath. I'm like, I hope they didn't watch it. You know what I mean? Because Pulak kind of shoved him into the net. I mean, we got to be honest here. I'm glad we still came back and won, but
Yeah,
and to be fair, let's be fair here. I don't think the officiating was too kind to us tonight.
it wasn't.
Couple plays where there was a lot of holds and trips, and they
Yeah.
kind of just let it go, especially on the Barzal Horvat line was zipping around tonight and getting held a lot. So
It was so frustrating when Romanov took that penalty because, like, it just you had to call it. It was right in the middle of
yeah, we
everything.
spoke about that too. I with him, honestly, I'm really hoping he's going to be a lot better going forward because on a positionally, I still see the same player that I saw last year, the year before that. But we know we've seen better offense out of him too. So I'm kind of waiting on that. I don't know if he's still trying to get back into this, game speed, but I haven't seen enough from him, honestly.
My question for you on him. So, going into the season, I have nothing but positivity with Romanov. I thought he had a good season last year. I've been a fan of him pretty much since he joined the team. So, I'm watching these first few games and, I'm seeing the tweets, I'm seeing the opinions like, oh, you got to get D'Angelo away from Romanov. Like this guy's ruining him. And like, a couple games pass by. I'm like, then you see Romanov exit the lineup and you watch D'Angelo a little bit. And I thought he's played a little bit better recently. And now I'm watching and I'm like kind of getting really, really, really concerned because
it's not always Tony, right?
it might not always be Tony
Yeah.
D'Angelo, and nobody wants to hear that.
No.
It's a tough one to swallow. But
you wait till we start doing numbers. I don't want to spoil it, but I think you're gonna laugh a little bit. So.
Oh, definitely. But I thought I thought D'Angelo played a good game. I thought Pelech and Pollock have done what they've done pretty much most of the season. They've been good at times. They've been terrible with the turnovers. I thought Pelech was jumping into the offense a little bit more tonight. I love when he tries. Like, you see that play where he was trying to dance through like 3 Jackets?
Yeah, he was in the slot, and he actually got pretty far too. I was shocked he got that far, but we've seen that in the past where he'll have that. I hate to do this to you, Jack, but he'll have that like Josh Bailey moment where he's like dangling two or three guys. You're like, whoa, who is this guy? You know what I mean? Like, this is what we're waiting for, Pelech. Honestly, I thought that's fine as long as you have a guy back and a guy covering for you. This is what I want to see, honestly. I think the Islanders are at their best when they're offensive with this group. I really believe that if they're going to win games.
Yeah, the blueprint a few years ago, it's just throw it in the trash.
Oh,
like they can't really play that game. And They seem to know it now with the defenseman jumping up into the play. And I actually want to mention something on Simon Holmstrom. I think Simon Holmstrom and Josh Bailey are two very different players in skill. Like I just don't see the same attributes when they're on the ice. But the experience of watching them is kind of similar in a way where like I know you have more and you never actually like you just pick and choose times where you're
I
just
say
gonna
it all
make
the
that
time.
play, you know?
There are times where he'll dangle through like one or even two guys, and I'm like, if you just keep going, dude. It's almost like it's funny because this is almost gonna get quote tweeted or whatever, but it's almost like he has this Datsukian moment and he
Yep.
just doesn't keep going with it. And I'm like, you can see the talent on
Yeah.
full. It's just not consistent.
It's not
That's what it is.
consistent.
It's the difference between him being a top line player and him fitting in as a very good third line player. That's really. It's funny though, it's about those inches, I think. So I see what you're saying with him. Trust me. And with Bailey, it's the shots, right? You're like, shoot the puck, Simon.
Yeah, he doesn't. And Simon's a better shooter. Simon is a better
Yeah,
shooter than Bailey
yeah, he
was.
is.
I'll say that. But he's similar and like he's really selective with his shots, and he just has that ability where like I'm at we're at UBS Arena and they're on the power play. And you see Holmstrom with the puck, and like he has a chance to take a shot. Somehow he doesn't, and it gets turned over, and you hear like the yawn of the crowd after.
Yeah.
Like that used to happen with Josh all the time. Like I feel like Simon has really kind of replaced that with like, we know you have more, buddy, but it's when he comes through, like, man, that was a big goal. That was very
Yeah.
clutch. Cal
Pajot
Rip,
too, right?
yeah,
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but Pajot I thought had a great game.
yeah. I thought Pajot. I mean, with
Penalty kill too,
JG,
right?
yeah. The other night he got the they've been giving out this mask in the dressing room, and
There you
Tony
go.
D'Angelo actually had it from the previous win, I think, and he gave it to Pajot, and I was just like, all right, that's good because I've just been thinking this guy's been really kind of. I feel like he's been the most underrated player on the team this year in terms of his defensive play and just like he just seems to be on a mission, and maybe, it's that contract year. He wants one more bag. It's like
I
he
would say it's
looks
almost like the last 2 seasons because even last season I was dogging him sometimes, and then he would show me up the next game.
he was
We're like,
really
wow,
good.
he does not miss defensively.
It's
Like he
weird
just
because he definitely had an off year or two, right?
yeah. I mean, it's tough though because they put him in a top 6 role and he excelled. Like he did exactly what you'd expect of a guy making that money, and you're like, dang, like I want him to be a problem. You know what I mean? Because I want to, it's tough. It's tough. It's not that I want him to be a problem, but I want to be proven right sometimes. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Pajot proves me wrong all the time. So
Yeah.
it's like, this is a guy that I think he has a ton of value, and we'll see
Oh,
what
yeah.
happens. But I mean, right now they're running what 3 great centers. If we're
Yeah,
being honest.
it's tough. It's tough to be like,
I know
it's
that's
tough
who
to
you're moving
be
into. So too, yeah,
it's tough to be like a fan and watch Pajot right now because he's been so good, and I
yeah.
just
Same
sit
with
here.
Lee.
Don't you sit here thinking with like Pajot at the trade deadline? Sometimes it's like maybe like he can stay and the other guy can go, and the
Yeah,
other
but then
guy.
you have Anders Lee playing out of his mind too, and it's like,
Yeah, I mean, he was so good down the stretch tonight. He's so hard to in those puck battles. He's so hard, and both of them are, they're both on the last year of their contracts, but they
yeah,
both played well last year too. They've
yep.
kind of had very similar trajectory. And like 2, 3 years ago, there were a lot of fans being like,
These
"Buy
guys are
him out,
done.
buy him out," and
Yeah,
now suddenly, like you're watching them play, they're like, "Oh yeah, these guys are worth their contracts." It's been a pretty bizarre roller coaster with those two.
I think their value's at an all-time high right now. So take that how you will. And I listen, if the Islanders win, who knows, But
Yeah, it's
geez,
gonna be.
if they don't, I know there's going to be about 15 calls. I mean, geez, man, there's not a playoff team that doesn't need a guy like one of those two. So
It's gonna be so interesting to see how that plays out,
yeah, it
especially with
really is.
Lee. But I really liked the new line combinations. I feel like Patrick Waugh has been nailing these this season, putting Barzell back with Horvat. I mean, Barzell is
Sometimes,
kinda yeah,
sometimes,
sometimes
dude, bizarre coach because he does something really bad, right? That we can all agree on. You're like, what is that? And then he does something as fun as, no, we're gonna put Barzell back with Horvat. We're gonna make Richie the 2C. Like, I'm sorry, but what coach is that bold, right? Like,
yeah,
geez, man, like that's awesome. That's
it
what we
is.
all have wanted all these years. Like, let's be fun. And
Yeah.
they're good, and they were good. That's exactly what you're hoping for.
Yeah,
So
sometimes, like, Yeah, I feel like this fan base is used to, you got to win the game defensively, but when you
Yeah.
have these lines clicking like they were tonight, I mean, Drouin's been such a good
Mhm.
signing for this team at 5-on-5. He's been incredible. Of course, like he shouldn't be the guy that's shooting the puck every time on the power
No,
play, but I really loved these new combinations. Heineman up there with Barzal and Horvat. I think that I have a thought on that I'll get to, and I want your take on it. But
sure.
I thought they were good tonight. I thought the second line of Paul Mary, Drouin, and Richie, of course, I thought they were really good, and I thought they complemented each other quite well. They had a couple shifts early on, and with Richie, it's coming. Just don't look now. Like this kid looks ready to go. He just, not everyone's going to be like Schaefer and have a goal and an assist in their first
No.
two games.
But the swagger on that kid to pull the between the legs move coming down outside of the slot between the circles. I mean, unbelievable. Like not some I got to be honest, I was hard on him. I'm like, you know what? I don't think cuz I see it sometimes with him where he's kind of in outer space, even when I watched a couple games of him last season. And I watched him in the NHL and I'm like, wow, I think we have something here.
I
And
think
it's only
some
2 games, right? But
I think something that could be underrated with Richie and Schaefer's like you're probably right that like maybe there was a lack of focus, but for Cal Ritchie last year, he's coming to play for an Avalanche team that is just, let's be real, they're loaded, stacked with talent.
yeah.
He's not that important here. Suddenly you get traded to the Islanders and
Yeah.
no. Like you're playing second line center.
Yeah,
You are
yeah.
super important here. And
Hey,
it's
we
like,
think you're going to be really good. Like here's second
yeah,
line center ice. Like you're playing with Kyle Palmer, Paul Mary, and Jonathan Drouin. Like to me, that's good. You know
two good
that's
pros.
yeah. No,
It's
honestly, and let me tell you. I mean, I know we're not getting into the numbers yet, but they were excellent tonight.
you could see
Excellent.
it. You
That's what I'm
could
saying, and it matches. So I'm
absolutely. Like
happy.
it was you could see it. Like, yeah, the eye test matches that.
Yep.
But it's really funny to think it's like the Avalanche, like when they add Richie to the lineup, it's like, yeah, all right, kid, like you're playing your first NHL game, but like we can make the playoffs without you, just so you know. It's like you come
Yeah.
to the Islanders, it's like we're gonna need you to be excellent. And so
Yeah.
when you know you're that important and when you're hyped up like that and you're just embraced by an organization, like you're just gonna want to prove it to everyone. So the youth in this lineup has just been fantastic. We don't even have Shabanov to talk about.
Yeah,
Um,
I know. We saw that with D'Angelo last year, right? He got thrown away by everybody. He comes here and he explodes. I mean,
yeah.
that's what sometimes it's just opportunity, right?
Oh
It's all
yeah.
you need. I mean, Mike Riley. I mean, I know he's not here anymore, but so the same thing with him. You can
Yeah.
go
When
through
he
all the
would sorry.
no, go ahead. It's funny thinking about all the guys that have come here, right, and really shown that they can play, So
When
that
Riley
goal.
scored against us the other night, it was like, all right, I'm okay with this because he was just a gem when he was here, but that was one of the ugliest goals I've seen in this team's history. Just the defending, the goaltending, the forwards, the situation. It doesn't get any worse. It doesn't get any more
He's
doesn't
like
get
a
worse than that.
and the whereas it almost looked like a Patrick Kangol with how bad we looked, right? Like he was so fast, but we were just so out of position and slow. And I don't know. I'm still happy for him though. Obviously, everything he went through, like that's got to be
Yeah.
amazing to be playing in the NHL still after his condition and everything. So we're rooting for him, not when he plays us though. It's very simple.
Yeah, and if we're rooting for you and you're playing for the Carolina Hurricanes, you're
Yeah,
probably
you're
probably a special human being.
you made an impact here, and we can all
100%.
agree with that. So
Yeah, so I think well the third line, obviously they were incredible.
yeah, I
We
thought so.
right, like they won the game at the end. They
Yeah,
just they were good. Lee was good. The fourth line, this is the fourth line to me has been really weird to watch the last few games. And my thought on the first line is like I always have this thing in my head with Duclair where I'm like, he was brought here for one reason, to be the third guy on the Horvat Barzell line. And I'm looking at it and I'm like thinking, but we have Heineman up there. And I'm like, wait, wasn't Heineman kind of brought here to be on the fourth line? So wouldn't it make perfect sense to swap the two? But Heineman's working really well with those two for now. So I guess you got to keep it. But do you think that's a change that they can make going forward?
it's so tough for me because before we got Duclair, you wouldn't find a bigger fan of the guy. Obviously I'm a big numbers guy. Everybody knows it. Anyone that's listening is going to know it. Duclair was one of the most consistent goal scorers of the last few seasons when they got him. like in terms of like what, his ice time and how he was producing. Very efficient goal scorer. But I mean, I've been watching him here, and he's just very inconsistent. And I think other people would understand that and admit that as well. When he's going, he's good. When he's not, he's just not. And I don't know if that's a great situation for him, but I don't think that line is great for him. Like, I think, I don't know. I guess it's just obvious. I don't think highly of Cizikas.
Yeah.
I don't. Casey to me is like a 13th forward at this point. And like, I see the energy. I understand the energy when Thomas Hickey always brings it up. Like, he brings that energy. Great locker room guy. I want to see Duclair and Siplikov. I really do. I mean,
Me too.
Listen, we need 4 scoring lines. This is the perfect example of a game where it's like they're playing so well and the fourth line is getting hemmed in.
Yeah, I'm fully with you on this. The complement of players down there. We have 2020 Cizikas. We have 2025 Cizikas and Anthony Duclair. It's like I'm not sure what we're doing. I want to give a shout to Kyle McLean. I thought
he
he's
was okay.
Been a lot better than he was last year. He looks like the guy from 2 years ago. Not as good, but just a lot more respectable. And it's great to see. I mean, he's a guy you root for, spending so much time in Bridgeport, came up, and I think he also went undrafted. So he's always going to have a chip on his shoulder, and the guy does not take a shift off. And his effort sometimes covers a lot for that line. And I'm happy for him. He seems
pressure's
to have a spot
on this year too, right? Who's missing from the Islanders? His dad.
Yeah. So you're on your own, pal.
He's playing for every minute out there. And honestly, I thought I saw it from him tonight, even if it wasn't his best game. You saw the fourth line brought energy. I'm not going to deny that. I just think we can do better.
Yeah, I can't even pinpoint it, but maybe it's because McLean's just shown more of a willingness to be more physical than anyone else on the team. I think like there's just I have a respect for him at the moment, and it definitely gets a little bit hard to see with the future at center between Pajot, Cizikas. There's a lot of things that Darsh has to decide on, and I think we all know I think we both think the same when it comes to Cizikas. It's just my thing is the energy you brought up before. They love him. They love him here. Love him.
It's one of those things I can't track with the numbers. You know what I mean? Is it like you hear from Hickey all the time? And I know sometimes they like to defend their guys, but there are some shifts where I see it with Casey where he's running a guy into the boards. And I'm like, I get it. I said, maybe Siplikov's not going to do that. But, but at the same time, I still think winning your minutes is important. So that's why with Casey, I don't think it's been a good start for him so far. And he would probably admit it too. You saw him take that penalty the other night. He knows it. He knows it. He's not stupid. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are smart. They probably hear all this stuff that I'm saying, for somebody else. So
yeah, I always wonder, like, I've kind of wondered if one day these guys are ever going to reply and be like, "Screw you all, you're all wrong. You don't know anything about the sport."
It's happened a couple times, so I've seen it. Like they'll quote tweet Jay Fresh or whatever. It'll be one of them, and like numbers don't or whatever play on the ice or something like that. I'm always like, it's obviously someone who's not doing well analytically, right? Like they're gonna let you hear it. It was someone on the Flyers. Someone could probably
watch the games. Was it
yes,
was it Farabee?
Yes.
I think it was Farabee.
It was the one that got traded, right? He got traded to it was Calgary, I think, and he's doing terrible.
He is that guy. It's funny though because he actually does. I think he does do well analytically now, even. But this guy can't score. He has so many chances, but he out chances but can't score. But speaking of these analytics, so Mike is going to take the place of Data Dom tonight with the analytics because Mike's more analytically sound than I am.
But nowhere near Dom. Don't even try to compare me to that guy. That guy is, like I said to you before we went on the show, it's funny because me and Dom don't always agree on the eye test. When it comes to numbers, I'm like, I see exactly what he's talking about all the time. It's so funny that like that can happen, but it's like we might disagree on one thing or another, but he'll bring these up and, I'll be like, yep, you're right. I get it.
I mean, with I really kind of like learned all of this analytical stuff from him. Of like I just had a game with him. He's breaking down like the J Fresh cards, like explaining to be the natural stat trick, like all of the metrics and what they mean and everything. And it's been really helpful in learning. And I do use it as like as a tool to like help with evaluating some things. But then on the other hand, I'm like, all right, like there needs to be some context to this too. Well, so I'm curious to see how tonight goes.
and I'm gonna do basic stuff, by the way, because I don't have everything on me or anything.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like I'm on natural stat trick, so we'll use that. But I just wanted to say what's so important about those cards, what people miss, and sometimes they misinterpret what they are, is they usually take into account role. And people sometimes miss that. They'll see a fourth liner with like 90% WAR, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, this guy's the best player on the planet, right? Like he's so good." But then you realize his minutes are really easy, right? So like,
Yeah.
he
It's
has no
true.
role difficulty. So it's like, okay, that was maybe a big thing with our fourth line and why they were so good for years. And Islander fans could see it is they didn't always have the toughest role, but they would dominate their minutes. You know what I
Murder.
mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
100%.
exactly. So you wouldn't say Cal Clutterbuck's better than a top 6 player, right? But he
Yeah.
was a damn good fourth liner. So
Oh my God. Hell of a one. He
that's
was.
that's where the cards show. If you can understand them, they become a little bit easier. You know what I mean?
That's
So
so true.
I
Like with the
also like
war.
I like when they break down individual on ice metrics where they show percentiles of how good someone is, because then you could really see what's going on. Obviously seeing 6 numbers isn't going to do anything for you, but if you have like 20 or 30 of them, you could really see who's good in certain spots and who's not. So,
Are you
all
talking
right.
about those ones with the I forget what it's called. It's a type of card in the J Fresh model where you could see like how the person is, how the player is with like passing, zone entry, all of
Yes,
these different those are better than those in my opinion,
those should
that
be the
should be
mainstream things. Yeah, no,
those should be the only
100%.
cards. Those are really informative and accurate.
And I love it because it's perfect with someone like an Anders Lee for me, because I never understand why he's so good analytically. Like I get it, he's played well these last 2 seasons, but then you see with the card, it's like, okay, his chance generation and everything he brings in front of the net, that is what pushes his number up so high. He's so good down low that's where all the metrics raise him up, because he's an average passer, right?
Yeah.
Average on the forecheck, average on zone exits. Like he's not. I mean, he's decently fast, right? The last 2 years, but
I know he's definitely picked it up, but I'm fully with you on this. Like I'm always like,
yeah.
why is this guy at 99%? Why is he leading the
Yeah.
league? Why is he leading the league in expected goals? And it's kind of fun to understand why, because I look at this guy's shots now a completely different way. Like when he's at the side of the net and just jams the puck, I'm like, expected goal.
Yeah, no, that's like I said, it becomes almost like a game with it, and that's where I think it gets fun, where you
Yeah.
could just have fun with it, because obviously the most important thing is what you're watching. So everyone will tell you that.
Yeah.
We just all watch it differently sometimes. I think people
Oh,
will say I'm
100%.
biased with Sorokin. People will say you're biased with Josh Bailey. So I mean,
Yeah,
that's
oh,
just how
100%.
it goes. So
It is how it goes. Like that's why like when I'm roasting a player and think they're playing poorly, and like I have like like a Sorokin fan club defending Sorokin in my mentions, I'm like, I'm not gonna rip on
I'm
this
not
guy because
surprised.
I'm a hypocrite. Like if you're gonna defend your guy, like I respect it because I've done the same thing, and many people have gotten annoyed at me for it. So
Is
it
that
is
my
what it
burner?
is.
Sorokin fan club. Is that actually an account?
It actually is an account. Good guy.
That's
Good.
funny.
Yeah, he after during the Boston game, he gave up what was it, 3 goals on like 16 shots, and I was just like, all right, like it's time for a save. I would welcome a goaltending change. And he's like, that won't stop the cross ice passes, and I'm like, I get it. He's not facing the
That's
easiest
me.
chances. You're the Sorokin fan club. I'm gonna just I'm not gonna we could discuss it, but I'm not gonna rip on you for defending your guy, and that's a lot of what.
I gotta get that guy in my corner. Jeez.
100%. Yeah, good guy. Um, so okay, yeah, the analytics quiz. Let's do
Yeah.
it. So the way we
So-
usually go is
Oh, okay. Let me know.
top 4. Like I rank the 1 to 4 forward lines like from the best to worst, and same with the defensive pairs. Is that good? Is that good for you?
Oh, wait. Let me get the stat card up real quick. I think I can do that through our Discord, because Dom definitely posted it. I know Dom.
Yeah, he probably did.
So, yeah, because I was on Natural Stat Trick, but that actually is probably even better. Let me hold on, Dom. Where'd you post that? I wish I had this. Oh, there it is. Easy. I got it. I'm the best. Okay.
Perfect.
So do we just do it in order? Is that how he does it?
So I usually will guess the best line, second best, third best, fourth best, and then I'll go defensive pair, best pair to worst pair. Same thing.
Does he tell you what metrics he uses for that? I'm guessing just the one that just the one it's ranked by. So the on ice net expected goals. That makes sense.
Yeah. We do expected goals. We don't do Corsi. Even though I think Corsi has been so roasted that I think it's a little bit underrated now.
People roast it, but I think it's the closest thing you're going to get without using something better for possession. Is if you're giving up a lot of chances, well, you don't have the puck. So that's how I like to see it as. So, I mean, to me, it actually did a really good job of showing tonight who had it and who didn't, because it was pretty obvious. But, I mean, okay, so I got to just kind of figure out here what line. So it's a little jumbled, but I have an idea here. Okay, never mind. I got it.
You got it. Okay, yeah. It usually does go by line with the individual. So I'm going to go with the best forward line tonight.
Might be surprising. Don't want to spoil it. Sorry, Jack, but
it's a tough one. It's a tough one because in the first period, these guys were flying, and you also have to factor in the 6-on-5 goal and the power play goal. That's not 5-on-5.
Nope.
I'm gonna take a shot here, and I'm gonna guess the Drouin, Palmieri, Richie line was number 1.
No,
it's number 2. My next guess for that line would be the Horvat line. No.
Okay.
And then, so here's my guess 1 to 4. I got
just the Richie go through line, 1 to 4. I'll tell you.
Yeah, Richie's line, Horvat's line, Holmstrom's line, and then the 4th line. That's
I tell you?
Yeah.
So this is actually crazy, but swap lines 1 and 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Swap
2 and 3. 2 and 3. I'm sorry.
Swap lines 2 and 3. So the third line was the best. The third line was the best.
Shockingly.
Okay. It makes sense because they have Lee on that line, first of all. So
it wasn't even Lee that led them by a pretty sizable margin. It's actually shocking who it is.
Is it Holmstrom?
No.
It's Pajot.
Yeah.
Well, you did say he played a hell of a game.
Monsters. I'm sorry for spoiling that, but oh my goodness.
Pellick wouldn't have been my guess for the worst defensive pair.
I had to though. It's like holy. It's a sizable jump too over everyone else, which is what I told you. Like mid game, I'm like JGP is on fire. You know, like you can see it.
He's something else. Like it's just so wait, with the defensive pairs, I'll go Schaefer, Mayfield second after Pellick Pollock, and then I'll go Romanov D'Angelo. There's no way that's wrong, right?
No, it's wrong.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Do you want me to just go in order so it's easier because it's all jumbled? So it goes Pellick, Mayfield, Pulak, which not that surprising, I guess, because he was with Pellick.
Yeah, that's
phenomenal.
Too.
But you can tell who was carrying that. You know, then there's Schaefer, surprisingly below Mayfield. Didn't expect that. Then you have D'Angelo Romanov.
Yeah, D'Angelo Romanov. They're always going to be at the bottom of that chart. Like there was a game recently where D'Angelo found himself at the top, and I was just like, wow, good game for Tony.
Well,
but
you know what? I know you don't like Corsi. I know a lot of people don't, but I think it would be fun to do that one. Can you guess the 3 players that had the best chance share tonight? Because I think it's fun.
All skaters. All skaters, like even defensemen.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Man, I'm gonna get
give me 3 guesses, and then I'll tell you which 3 they are because I want to see if you can get one. This is chance share, remember, so it's possession. I like to use possession for it. You know,
I'm gonna go with Horvat.
Not Bo, but guess 2 more.
Well,
Bo was high. Bo was high up. You're not that far.
Drouin.
Nope. He was pretty high up though too.
Damn, they played such a good game. It's tough.
They did.
Pajot?
No.
Jesus Christ. It's a struggle tonight.
But once again, Pajot was really good. Most of the team really good, chance share.
100%.
Because they dominated. The top 3 were Palmieri, Barzal, and D'Angelo. Which honestly, which is so funny for me. Well, because his partner wasn't. When Romanov was on the ice, they were getting eaten alive possession-wise. Well, not eaten alive, but they weren't dominating.
Something I like that Wad does is sometimes throughout the game, if they have an offensive zone shift, he'll actually put D'Angelo with Schaefer for a second, and it's really fun to watch.
No, 100%. I did notice at the end they actually had the D pair swapped a couple times. I don't think we brought that up, but I think I saw Mayfield with Romanov at one point.
I've seen that a lot over the last few games. Mayfield's like a little bit of a babysitter on this team, and it's kind of funny because he gets blasted by a lot of fans, but like the coaches are like dude, can you fix him and make sure the rookie's playing good minutes too? It's
I've
kind of
said it a
crazy.
couple times. I think there are some nights where he's the best right defenseman we have. I mean,
Oh yeah,
that's not saying that much, right? Because the other two have been bad some nights, but still, just give me the bottom three because you know it, and that's what's so funny.
the
This is
bottom.
what bottom three to me is. It matches the eye test. So,
Cizikas,
yeah,
Romanov,
not Romanov.
not Romanov, Cizikas, Duclair. It has to be McLean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
see, but see, and I understand people don't like Corsi, and that's fine. But it's funny because you watch those guys get hemmed in like 4 or 5 times, and you're like, I just know that's going to be the case, right? So they only played 8 and 9 minutes each, but they were on for like almost 10 chances against. So
yeah,
it's over a chance per minute, like
it's not good enough, man.
No,
it's not.
No.
Yeah, so that's the analytics for tonight. We don't really do goalie metrics. I'm sure Rittich probably had like an even game in terms of goals saved above expected.
I didn't even look because I thought it was pretty easy game for him, but
I'm gonna give it up one more.
So where's the expected goals here? I don't even see it. Oh, here we go. No, yeah, he didn't. He had a 1.78 expected goals against, but this might be 5-on-5. Okay, that was 5-on-5. Hold on. Yeah, so it was a 2.77 expected goals against. He gave up 2 goals. So he was good, Yeah,
he was solid.
Which I thought he was fine. He had 6 high danger saves on 8 shots. He didn't really give up any softies. That's what you want.
Yeah. So that's to be expected. They play, I will say, to the Sorokin fan club, not the account, like the actual Sorokin fan club out there. This team does play, except for that Carolina game, this team actually does play differently in front of Rittich. Like they're like, okay, we need to keep the puck in the other team's zone to make sure. And I don't know if it's something they see at practice with this guy where they're like, we don't want to get hemmed in tonight. We can't afford it. And it really shows.
It's definitely an ongoing joke because they're not thinking differently with the goalie in the net. But it's been honestly like the last few years where it's like, damn, like why can't they give Sorokin a game like this? And I saw Eric Hornick actually tweet, which I was so happy because I'm like, wow, someone's actually in Sorokin's corner. And it was the Rangers game against the Kraken. And he's like, just so everyone's aware, Sorokin never gets a game like this. And I'm like, whoa. I mean, okay. Yeah. I mean, he said it. I didn't say it. So people will listen,
They have a lot of faith in him. And sometimes they've given – they're just like, okay, like we'll let you. There was a game in Ottawa a couple of weeks ago where I didn't even think it was a great goal that Sorokin allowed, but Polak is defending a rush and he just lets I can't remember if it was Kachuk. It was a left-handed shot, which is kind of it was Dylan.
Couldn't have been Kachuk. Kachuk's injured, so
it was Cousins.
Yeah.
It was Cousins. Cousins scores. It hits Sorokin's glove, and like Polak just seems so okay with giving Cousins that shot. And I'm like, Ryan, like this guy can't. This guy has given up 3 goals tonight. Like this probably isn't a good idea to just be like, yeah, I'll give you that one. Like you gotta, the team needs to be they need to play with a little more urgency.
Sometimes they give him the Evan Bouchard coverage where just, you don't even move your stick. You just let the guy walk in and you're like, what are you doing? I mean, you got to at least, there was a few times where if they just tried to impede the shot a little bit, it probably doesn't go in. And it doesn't forgive a soft goal or anything sometimes.
100%.
But it's like, you guys got to at least try, right? To help the goalie out in certain situations. I don't know. Maybe they just really trust him, but, okay. We're getting into it.
Yeah, we're getting into the comments. Jeremy here. I'd be okay with trying Holmstrom on the power play. He has good vision and his shot is at least average on the team. So my take on this is I would sub him in for Drouin because, as you stated, the shot's better than Drouin. But kind of weirdly happy with how the power play looks, and I'm not sure what it will look like taking him off. Mike, what do you think?
The metrics are so good for the power play, and I understand Drouin's been kind of, I don't want to say bad, but his shot is definitely not there. Like, we get it, we see it, but the metrics for the power play are so good. Like, it almost scares me to touch it because I test numbers. Everything that it's showing is that the goals will come. So
I agree.
It's hard to touch, but I agree with you. Simon, I think, would be a good shot on the power play. Cole Eiserman next year. You know it. I'm ready.
Something that opened my eyes with the power play that I thought was interesting is their power play is like substantially more efficient numbers wise at home. And I find that to be so shocking because I feel like when you're at home, there's more pressure from the fans to score and you could find yourself forcing shots and just playing like a little bit less patient and different, and they're so good at home, which is just it's a weird stat to me.
I don't want to talk about Schaefer the whole time, but the fact that this 18-year-old is playing better in those sort of situations just blows my mind. He's not even nervous. Like, he looks like he's been playing for like 20 years.
He does. It's unbelievable.
It's hard to imagine that this is real life, because I have never seen something like this in my life with the Islanders. I just haven't. I guess, I was barely alive when they had a rookie defenseman win the Calder like 20 years ago, and maybe this is before us.
Was
Jack,
it Berard?
So, yes. Geez,
Berard.
See, there you go. Like, that might have been the last time Islander fans have seen a guy that was that good, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's unreal.
Did he win the Calder or whatever?
He might have won it with another team, and then the Islanders traded for him.
Maybe.
I don't know. But
this is what I'm talking about, though. We've never seen something like this. I mean, defensively, no, nothing.
We could defensively, we could say his name. We could say his number for a second. 91 back in the day when he first came onto the scene. The difference is, though, while 91 was good, he was really good off the bat. But this guy's like winning hockey. Like, he helps actually win hockey games at 18. It's just another level of.
And Schaefer might produce at his level this season. And how old was JT? Same age, right? 19 or 18 or 19? I have to look that up. Honestly, I think he looks better than JT did when he was first here.
100%.
And JT looked great. We all did. I mean, you were really young, Jack, right, for that? But
I remember it though, because that was like middle school for me. Like, I was fully with it, and I just remember him. He was so good, but he was not Schaefer. No way.
That goal in the Penguins game, I'll never forget. Like, that was like oh my God, this guy's going to be great. But with Schaefer, that goal that he dove and scored, I was like, no, this guy's going to be sensational. Like, different vibes, right? Like,
protect him at all costs. And that's really ironic, because Jeremy asks, if Team Canada asks for Schaefer, would you let him go to the WJC?
Is it the same time as the Olympics, or is it a different?
When I first opened this question, I was expecting it to be the Olympics question. I don't know. I don't know if Schaefer will. If he might. I don't know. Well, what do you think, Mike?
I mean, if the Olympics are taking place at the same time, he can't go to that. Because if I'm Team Canada and I'm watching this kid, even if he's on your third pair, let's say he's on the third pair, you have like the best third pair defenseman you could ever have. You kidding
100%. Me? Do you think he's going to make the Olympics roster?
Oh, I mean, if he keeps this up, it would be. I mean, if I remember correctly, they might have left off someone as good as this. Oh my, was it Makar that got left off? Or am I thinking of someone else in their first season? Someone smarter than us is going to remember who I'm talking about, because they left. There was like a sensational talent that they, for whatever reason, didn't let on the team. I think it was a defenseman. It might have been Makar. I can't pinpoint it. No, I feel like it wasn't Makar, because it was the Olympics have been all. I don't know. I need someone to jog my memory. There was a player like Schaefer, even though Schaefer's a one of one, who was incredible but too young. It might have been even like Niedermeyer or something.
Yeah,
it could have been.
It just, the whole thing makes me nervous. More of a cross this bridge when we get to it, because obviously the kid, if he wants to go play for the Olympic season, but hell yeah, go play.
We all want to watch it. Please happen, and then bring Barzell too.
Yeah, or Horvat.
I mean, Horvat's playing into. I mean, I didn't think Horvat was going to outplay Barzell this year, but he's been phenomenal the last 2 weeks.
There's a Barzell question coming up. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So Shab and Sip for Duke and McLean when healthy. Dom, I agree with you in a perfect world, but it's like this coach he's just not going to do it.
Can we get top line Shabanov? I mean,
yeah. Seriously, we don't even have they haven't even had Shabanov up here, and he was good when he was playing. Like, another element, like, he's such an underrated part of this team now, because like, he's been injured. He's the only injury, and he's been out for a little bit. And like, I feel like everyone's kind of just forgotten. Like, they've scored. They're scoring like a little bit less without him, I think. And he's just he is so good, so fun to watch.
Dynamic in those games, dude. He already has like a 2-minute highlight reel video I could put together from like 6 or 7 games. Like, the spins off the walls and just the unbelievable, like, not indecisiveness. What's the word? Like, the deceptiveness when he's coming down. Just like, it's so hard to read him. I don't know if it has to do with his size, like a Cole Caulfield, but geez, man, he's so talented. It's been fun to watch. Also, I think we're pronouncing his name wrong. I keep doing this. I think it's Shabanov. I
Yeah,
really
I have
want
the
to get
same.
that right, but I
I
always
think it's
like,
Shabanov.
dude, I rushing it. You know what I mean? Like
I hear you.
Sipakov, Shabanov, right? But it's like, I don't know.
It's tough.
I
It's
don't know.
tough.
I'll get it one day. I should.
I agree with you though. His deceptiveness, he's really a dynamic player, and I just hope that he stays healthy. We can't defend against fast teams. I really agree with this. Like when you see the Sharks come in there against Pellick and pull out, it gets ugly. And
Yeah.
Columbus, while skilled, I do agree that they aren't the fastest team. I mean, Monahan's their first line center. Fantilli's got some. Is Fantilli? I don't know if I call him super fast. He's just really. They have a lot of skill. I agree with Dom here,
Watching
though.
Cole Sillinger tonight, I can't, like, if you're a Columbus fan listening to this, what happened? Who is that? You
Yeah, he
seen
looked
him
good.
deke into the zone? I'm like, holy heck. He might
Reminder
be
of Mike Sillinger for a second.
yeah. I don't know if
For
Mike Sillinger was that skilled for us.
Yeah, that's true. He was a buzzsaw though.
Yeah, he
Chris,
was.
Barzell hasn't stood out for me yet this year. So I think I kind of am feeling like a little before and after with the suspension. I actually think Barzell has been really good, but for
Yeah.
whatever reason, it seems like Palmieri, while he's getting in chances to finish, I feel like he just hasn't gotten I feel like he hasn't been as efficient as a finisher as he could be. Like his expected goals to me should be pretty high because I feel like Barzell's putting him in some good positions. I will say Barzell's shot doesn't stand out most to me, but there's some games that Barzal's already won for this team, like that Edmonton game where he strips Bouchard, he sets up
Yeah.
Horvat late. Like Horvat gets the hat trick, he gets all the praise for it. But Barzal makes two really important plays in that game. I would preach patience with this guy because there's been plenty of seasons where he's not putting the puck in the net, and I'm like, kind of getting a little concerned here. And then he goes on like a streak where he scores for 5 straight games, and then he's still doing his thing. But Mike, you're a big Barzell fan. I'm curious of your take on it.
I mean, Chris, you watched the game tonight, right, buddy? You see that stretch pass to Heineman with the 2-on-1. This is why I love him with Bo Horvat, because Barzell says, "Let me play center." Even when he's on the wing, he stays back for Horvat. And their metrics tonight were great. I mean, I had so much fun watching them together again tonight. And honestly, when Schaefer's on the ice with him, it's like you have two guys who can be game breakers together. And even tonight, towards the end of the game, they had that overlap. And you're like, I don't know. To me, he's always like the most noticeable player on the ice, for better or for worse.
I forgot about this play in Ottawa. It was 4-3 Ottawa, and the Islanders needed to tie the game. There's like 10 minutes left, and Barzell takes the puck from behind the net, goes through the entire Senators roster, pops it to Palmieri, and he scores. And it's like, that's why Barzell probably wants to play with Horvat, because he said it himself. Horvat's the best shooter on this team, and he's going to be the one to finish that most of the time. But that to me is one of my favorite plays of the year, because it's just coming off of knee surgery. You're not sure, there just becomes some questions, and I still feel like he has it, and he's still finding his legs a little bit. I would just once again preach a little patience on him there.
Also, he just needs to be more aggressive. That's all. I mean, he needs to go more to the slot. We've been saying it forever, and hopefully he does get better on it. Also the explosiveness might not be there where we expected it to be, but I still think he looks good. I mean, I wouldn't say otherwise. So
100%. And Ian, agree with Mike that Cizikas isn't an everyday player anymore. On the flip side, if you scratch him, Barzell has to play center. Well, you could put McLean at center for a little bit, or you could play. So Richie's playing. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but McLean could theoretically go in and play that position. So I don't know if that is.
There's another name.
Who?
In our system. I mean, I really hope he's close, because I think he's a year or two away. I mean, listen, he's never, well, you can figure out, he's never been a big point producer where he's playing right now, but I think he's in our top 10 prospects without a doubt.
Danny Nelson?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Danny Nelson's in your bottom 6 for centers next. He's already NHL sized. So it really comes down to, can he figure out the game at this speed? That's all.
I honestly thought you were thinking of Gleb for a second in Bridgeport, the kid who scored the 2 goals at the Garden. I was like, I don't know. I'd rather McLean there, but Danny Nelson is he seems to be up next.
Yeah. So I mean, next season, I think that could be an instant. Even if you listen, people are so against putting like kids on the 4th line, but it's such a different day and age now. Like, to get that sort of, responsibility nowadays compared to when Nino Niederreiter was, they're not going to put him with horrible players. You know what I mean? It's not like it was where the Islanders were embarrassing, you know what I mean, with that sort of situation. Like if he's with Duclair's a good NHL player. I'm sorry, but like, you know what I mean?
I think that's such a great point you make because, so many people get frustrated when you see Paul Mary still on this roster when like, why are you signing Drouin if we're going to suck? And it's like, I don't think you guys understood what it was like watching Nino Niederreiter with Jay Pandolfo and Brian Ralston when they were 79 years old and they were like below replacement level players. It's like you want to have these guys surrounded with competent players. And it's like, if they're not, then you're really starting to risk development. You're starting to see Niederreiter was a guy that like couldn't get anything going. And it's like, all right, this guy's a bust, move him. No, he's not a bust. You just played him with terrible players because you were rebuilding. So that's a really good point you make.
But back then too, being on the fourth line was almost like an insult, and people still see it this way today. Yeah. But in my opinion, if you're getting NHL minutes and you're able to do something positive in them, I as long as you don't put them with horrible players, right? We can agree there. That's really what it comes down to. So,
I'm trying to find a new question. Let's see here. With Calder, Berard was not Schaefer. Yeah, I do expect that.
But that's how long it's been till you've seen anything. It's funny because, I almost think of like Mark Streit, and obviously Schaefer's already better than a guy like that. But I remember watching Mark Streit and like, wow, this is or even Visnovsky at times. Like this guy's really offensively talented. That's what I see with Schaefer times like 2, and it's like, we haven't had a guy like this ever. So I'm trying to think back. You know what I mean?
Streit, Nick Leddy, these guys were awesome. But
Mark Streit led the team in points one season. So he was clearly like, pretty good.
When you look at that roster before they drafted first overall last time, like people really don't understand what watching that team was like. And honestly, that might have been one of the years where I went to the most games I ever have because the tickets were like less expensive than the parking. And I was in 4th grade. I didn't care watching Kyle Okposo out there, Bailey and Mark Streit. Like it was such a fun thing. But yeah, the team was just they were atrocious.
So to answer Ian's question, I just want to jump in real quick with this one, Jack. If they're not at the same time and it's taking place during NHL games, you're not going to send him. It will not happen. You want him playing on the Islanders. I don't want him in the juniors. It's a waste of time.
Kind of agree.
Complete waste of time.
I'm good with the Olympics because I feel like that's
different.
Playing for your country in that situation, you go ahead and you do that. That's all your decision. I will be a little bit nervous though because like I think with hockey players, honestly, it's like the Olympics is just as important as the NHL and Stanley Cup to them. It's going to be a lot of fun this year, and I don't think people really see it coming. Like, the NFL is going to be over. The NBA is most popular for things that have nothing to do with their actual product of playing basketball, and the MLB is not going to be on. And suddenly, like you're going to have like the Winter Olympics, and you're going to have these professional NHL players a year after Ovechkin broke the record. There's just like a lot of. I think it's going to be a really big deal and kind of take off.
Jack, did you see the interview with Mitch Marner? You know how the Vegas Golden Knights have that like after game corner thing where they sit really close to the guy?
Yep.
Mitch Marner was doing an interview and they were showing him highlights from when he made the pass to McDavid and they won at the World Championships, and he started crying. Like these guys live for those moments where you can play for your country. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, everyone was so surprised at how much like the 4 nations meant to everyone involved, but like it was so cool.
I'm sorry, that's what it was, right? Not the World Championships, 4 nations.
Yeah, 4 nations.
Yeah.
That definitely was next level. It was cool to see those rosters together. Just funny, like the most exciting player that was an Islander a year ago was Brock Nelson. He was the only player that was there, and suddenly a year later, like we're talking about having this rookie phenom and Schaefer there, and
someone could join him from this team because they've been offensively good. If Horvat keeps this up, he's going to make a statement.
He's really making a statement. How could you ignore this? He got invited to the camp, and I'm not sure you could ignore the season he's having. I think he's deserved it. I think Simon Holmstrom will make Team Sweden, which
100%.
It's so funny. He's the biggest lock on our team to make a team.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like I said, I hope Barzal gets an invite. Not everyone sees it, but he's been very positive for the team, in my opinion, this year. So And he's also second in points. It's not like he's been bad. So, yeah.
Lefty, this is going to be the last statement of the night, last
Okay.
question, but I don't want any Islanders playing in the Olympics too much for injury purposes. Yeah, it's just that 2014 scarred the hell out of this fan base. No more watching Vanek, Tavares, and was it Okposo, that line?
No, trust me, you want Schaefer there, though. You 100%. This is the moment that not only gets him on the map for people that somehow wouldn't know, for the casual viewer that hasn't been paying attention, but this is like a big shout out to the Islanders, right? Like, look what they're doing with this kid. Maybe you should watch some games. You know what I mean?
True. Like the Islanders are box office now.
100%.
Schaefer, I can't believe those words just left my mouth after what's been going on here the last few years. And I didn't even hate, I've never been one of the people that have had a huge problem with how they were building and how they were trying to make the team better at times. And they happen to get really lucky in this situation. And it's just insane. Like,
we were upset. We were upset that we got the pick this year and not next year with McKenna. And it's like, this guy's probably going to be better than McKenna. I mean, it's very likely. So
I will say I wasn't upset just because when you pick first overall, like, in my opinion, in any sport except baseball, like, you're going to get a superstar player. And this team last year this team last year on March 20 something was 2 games from a playoff berth. So not only did you get like the fun of a competitive season, it ends with that. The Islanders didn't even have a general manager when they got the first overall pick.
He didn't have this hype, though. Like, McKenna's hyped up like 100 times more than Schaefer was, because I guess the sample size wasn't there. But if he was playing like this through a full season, I think he would have had that hype. I think you would have seen that sort of hype from him. So you knew it going in. He was good, but they were like, oh, Misa could go first. And I understand. Like, I think people almost forget. They have this revisionist history where they're like, no, it wasn't even close. It was. Dude, Cam Robinson before the draft was like, the Islanders are taking Michael Misa. That was his hot take.
I saw him at the draft, and he told me, I asked him, I was like, who's going to be NHL ready out of these guys? He's like, only 2. He goes, only Misa and only Schaefer. And I just kind of remember, and I was asking him about Hagen's coming to the Islanders and all of these things. And he just told me, yeah, Misa's going to be NHL ready. And, I've put on a couple Sharks games because, West Coaster now, they're playing late. They play at a normal time for me. And I'm watching these games, and like, Misa just isn't. Look, like, I don't want to say the kid's not NHL ready, but when you look at him compared to Schaefer, there's a massive, massive gap. And I want to give the Islanders so much credit because there were so many fans wanted them to take Hagens. And it's like, incompetent organizations like will do shit like that. 100%. And I'm so happy that they didn't listen to everybody and took Matthew Schaefer, because that would have been would have just been the worst thing ever. And it's sad. It's sad to say it for Hagens' sake, but my God, that would have been tragic.
Well, at least he'll understand, right? Yeah. He's definitely watching this. Yeah. He is like, oh, well, maybe it was a good thing they didn't take me.
Yeah, there's just he
would have been blamed for this too, wouldn't he have been? He would have been like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he's not Schaefer, you know what I mean?
I was upset we didn't get Hagens after we got the draft picks from the Noah Dobson deal. But the early returns on this regime with the way Drouin's looked, the way Schaefer's looked, I feel like even Heineman, like I have a little bit more faith than where we started. Rookie GM, you never know what direction it's going to go to. And yeah, I thought him and Lou kind of in a weird way did a nice job of making sure this top 6 didn't have a bunch of Brian Ralstons and Jay Pandolfos on it for the beginnings of Richie's career. You have competent partner for Schaefer. I just kind of like the way that this thing looks right now. Listen,
even if they're not going to have a ton, you're probably not going to see a ton of games like this where they dominate a team for like 80-90% of the game. I think it was clear this is probably one of their best games of the season. I don't think I'm lying. But I feel like you're still going to walk away from games, even if you're mad, you're going to have fun. And that's what they said at the beginning of the season. I think people don't realize how self-aware these GMs are and coaches. They know where the team's at, right? Like, they get this. Even Barzell before the season was like, I'm so excited I'm here long-term because in 2 years we're going to be nasty. And it's like, what
100%.
he's saying is they're not there yet.
Yep.
But they think they're gonna be.
Yeah, he seemed pretty. He was very reasonable in his expectations. So
Yeah.
that was a positive. He's not like he's not going to be super. He's not going to be freaking out if the team's not great this year. So it's good that the expectations are reasonable. And
we all want to win. We all want to win. But listen, even if they don't, I still feel like we're gonna always come away with positives. I've been able to do it every game.
It's
so
crazy.
I mean,
every game, Schaefer, you're like, oh, thank God for those ping pong balls.
and sometimes if it's not Schaefer, maybe it's Druin, maybe it's
Or
Horvath,
Richie,
maybe it's
crazy.
Barzell, or Richie now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even Marshall Warren, you walked away from a game like, wow, that could be your next Isaiah George. Like,
so raw too. Like he just came right in there and shuffled out 2 points. Just wild.
Yeah. No, like I said, I don't know where this team is this year. I mean, like I said, I've said it a bunch of times. I do think the defense kind of makes them bad. But like I think the offense sometimes, like you saw tonight, if they just get enough juice, right, they can win a game for you.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, they just like in the past, that's a game. In the past, that's a game they lose. The last 100%. Few years, 100% a game they lose, and they seem to have a little bit of a belief right now in their room, and it's really. I mean, that was a really refreshing win, and for the fans that got to be there and see it, sacrificing your Josh Allen, Mahomes Sunday football games, like that's the Islanders made it worth it today, and that's not a sentence that we've made over the last few years watching this team. So that was just awesome.
It's Schaefer watch too. I mean, no matter what happens, no matter any game, he's on pace right now to break the record easily. Like he 100%. Could break the record by I think someone said it was 66 points. He could break that by honestly game 70, even if he has a couple nights off. That's
crazy.
Insane to think about.
Got to pray for the kid's health, but just want to thank everyone for listening, commenting. We appreciate it. Give my guy Mike a follow on Twitter, Dino Dangle. Give his podcast a shout at Isles Ship. That's on YouTube.
Chaos. Yeah.
Yes, sir. If you like chaos and very strong, stubborn opinions regarding 100%. The head coach, shout out my guy Brendan.
I like Wah. So for anyone that, I understand he might not be the best coach in the world, but he's been very open, right, to trying things and playing young kids. That's what we've all been waiting for.
Can't deny it. So now you know that their podcast it's got some disagreement. It's not just boring. It's a lot of fun. So thank you guys once again for listening. And Mike, thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Jack.